Now we did a video about problems thinking. This is like part two to that video. Just talking about other people that you may encounter that pretty much is stuck on dumb and you're up under them stuck on stupid. Family members, people that you associate with, even at work. They're on something else. You're on something else, but you're in a dumbfounded state. I don't know if any of you ever had a person do a malicious act against you and you weren't really able to act the way you wanted to act. Someone did something terribly wrong to you, but you weren't able to actually be violent towards them and actually like release yourself completely to knock the hell out of them or to actually do them harm at that time. um One of those things where I say, the person is dumb and you're stuck on stupid, where you can't really address them, so they feel that there is not an issue with their behavior. You get what I'm saying? And it's creating a thought process or thinking process that is causing problems for you, and not just them, but causing a major problems for you. um Perfect example. Just people. uh, I would give you the perfect example. A person wrong you, but they still want you to come around them. um they still want you to be friendly or cordial with them. Once you wrong somebody, I don't care if you are a family member, I don't care what you are. You really have to be careful with what you do with people, because once you wrong a person really don't want to be around you. But the problem has came where with God fearing people, we was told to forgive and forget. Or if you want to be forgive, you have to forgive others. But then I'm starting to think about it more and more, like my type of sins that I ask for forgiveness for ain't measuring up to your type. Your type is more intentional. Why would I forgive an intentional harm against me? It's not like you didn't intentionally do it. You know that you're doing harm and you continue to do it because the person is in what I call a stupid state and you just dumb. And when I say the person is in a stupid state, it's because others are trying to think for them or trying to program them where they are non-violent. I must confess today on here that everybody has feelings and have a form of violence in them. The problem is if you continue to force that person to shut up their feelings and not be able to express or get the anger out, the only thing that happens is that person builds up resentment. You're saying they become content in that state. And to a certain degree, some do actually become content and accepting of the behavior because they cannot change the behavior pattern or remove themselves from the situation. Others only build up hate and resentment. There are several different psychological issues that extend from you forcing a person to be in a situation of abuse. No one should have to endure their abusers or have to beg their abusers for anything when they can actually provide for themselves. But in today's society, the way it's set up, they want you to take down to people that are abusing you. They want you to take down to people that are mistreating you. They want you to be, how could I put it, sexually active, lustful, um not thinking for yourself and about yourself. The first thing that God gave you when He gave you common sense was the fact of you thinking of self preservation and preserving yourself. When I start seeing all these acts of non self preservation, I know right then that there is an issue. Whether it's within women or within men, the thought process, there is a thinking problem there. Because everybody's action is to preserve, reserve, and protect themselves. Perfect example, you would never see a person willingly eat feces unless they are unable to protect themselves or their enemies puppeteering them, because no one would ever actually voluntarily do an act or commit an act like that. That's a only person that will actually try to force you into a situation like that is your enemy. To defile your body like that is an enemy. That is not a test. That is not friends. That is not people that's for you. That is strictly phobes. These are phobes. These are people that are your family's enemy. They're your enemies, and they don't mean you well. But these are the same people that are trying to think for you. Do you really think them thinking for you or doing anything for you would be in your best interest? Or them doing anything for you would be to benefit you, cause you to prosper, or cause you to have? These people are strictly your enemy. And you may even have to find yourself working for the likes of them because of the way things are set up right now. You might find yourself working for people that don't mean you well. Honestly. And everything in you is set up on self-preservation. I have to preserve myself. I have to think positive for myself. I have to put proper things into my body. Especially when you're taught the proper training on how to do it. You have a nutritionist. You have common sense. You know to exercise. You know to do all these different things. But if your enemy has something to say about it, you think your enemy gonna want you exercising? Oh, that one might grow too strong and knock the hell out of me. Do you think people really want you to prosper when they're not for you? And that's where you're having the biggest thinking problems at. Because other things are trying to think for you that don't have your best interests at heart. They're trying to manipulate their way through to it to a certain degree. And you have been programmed to somewhat endure this type of behavior because of the way society is. There is a stand your ground law. Self-defense laws are in place. So to a certain degree, if you threaten my life, I don't care if you're in a uniform, you deserve whatever the hell you get. But this type of thinking is not being taught. The type of thinking that they're teaching people is to be I can't even, I don't even know how to just dumbfounded, or in a dumbfounded state, or in a state where you just sitting there just being abused and not really addressing the situation or addressing the people that are causing you harm. That's not positive thinking. When a person is thinking, everything in you is thinking, I gotta conserve myself. So one way of conserving yourself, a person that's thinking properly will never have more than one partner. This is just common sense. This is a person thinking properly. So when you see a person not thinking and functioning properly, and in the days, those are the type of people that have more than one partner, and they cannot be faithful because they cannot think properly for themselves. They are being manipulated into that. you know, being compelled. A lot of people don't talk about the fact that you can be compelled to do things that you don't even agree with, or you're not in agreement with, because of certain people and their masterminding and planning against you. So just I mean, just waking people up to this. I mean, you got young women going to college. Okay, you're going to college, you're getting the education, you getting the school book part, but the rest of your life in all out turmoil. You got a no good dude sitting up there taking advantage of you. You got all this different stuff going on and stuff like that. You got people sitting up there giving you bad, piss poor advice, but they supposed to be like professors and stuff like that. But they're giving you bad, piss poor advice, and you really can't think positively to think through it. You know. So I tell everyone to really think conservative. Start monitoring yourself in that way. Was I thinking conservative, or was there something wrong with my thinking? This is how you're going to start being able to tell when your judgment is a little bit flawed, you know, or whatever. And be careful with it too, because you have other outsiders. Stop asking people what they think, because a lot of the people that's not you ain't thinking in the best interest of you. Start asking yourself what you think and stop caring what other people think about it. When you're doing self-preservation, stop worrying about what other people think about it. I can give you a perfect example. My brother asked me, he said, you're not dating at all. You don't plan to be with the man. You don't want to be with a man. You don't want to be with a woman. You don't want to be with nothing. What if a person gave you $1 million? And I said, I have to give them that $1 million back if they telling me to be with somebody. I would never be with a person if they were to give me $1 million. And he was like, you serious? You would give back $1 million? You wouldn't even talk to the person, wouldn't even date them, wouldn't talk to them or nothing. This is me thinking about myself. That's the problem. Other people aren't going to think about me. That's why I'm going through rape situations. That's why I'm going through this. I'm thinking about self-preservation. They're thinking about destruction and destroying my body. I'm thinking about preserving my body. They thinking about destroying it. I'm thinking about longevity. They thinking about shortening my life. So remember to always think about yourself, and you can tell when you're thinking off, because your actions will be off. Nobody's going to hit you and you ain't going to hit them back. Yes, I know God sits up there and say, you know, if someone smack you on your right cheek, turn to them the other one. Look, I'm not going to teach you in that manner. God, you're going to have to forgive me. I might be the least in heaven. I'm not training you like that. Somebody smack you, smack the hell out of them back. That's self-preservation. You will not be destroying my body. If you can, smack them back. Smack them back.